This week on Beginner's Mind, Art Mind, I'm sharing about transforming your mood and creating joy through the creative process, even when you're feeling ill. Historically, artists have been doing this for ages. So come join Dawn and I as I use limited supplies while feeling unwell and allow the creative process to completely transform and uplift our spirits. Hello, beautiful creatives. I came up to the studio today and really feel so exhausted. I don't think that I even have the energy to get paints out. So there's a bunch of these markers that Montana sent me. If you watched, I have a couple of other videos about these. I'll try to remember to put a link up in the corner. Unfortunately, if you're watching on a TV, those links don't show, but you can see those links on your phone or your computer. But anyways, I have a few of these that I haven't unwrapped and swatched. So I thought I would start with that. Then I thought maybe I would put a larger pad up on my easel and just do some mark making with these. It's not as easy for me to do intuitive artwork with drawing tools like pens, markers, pencils, but I thought I would just put some marks on paper and see what happened. I was kind of thinking that maybe I would start with just grays and see where that went, but to start with, I'm just going to open up the ones that aren't opened and swatch those. I did 4 videos on Patreon this week. I'm doing a giveaway over there. So I ended up doing 4 videos and wow, it really wore me out. But so I wasn't sure if I was going to get a video up on YouTube this week, but I came up here to see what I could do with extremely low energy, and this is where I'm going to start. So I'm going to open these up, swatch them, and then I'll show you my swatches afterwards. So unpacking the markers that were still closed, unwrapping, I guess I should say, and priming them, you push, before you turn them upside down, you push down on the nib to burp them, they call it, to let the gas or air or whatever's in there out. So I prime all of them and then started to swatch them out. And it's just more confirmation that the old nibs, when you buy these, if they have the old rounded nibs, they will leak badly. These newer nibs on the Montana markers are chiseled and they do not leak. All of these colors that splashed like that were these rounded nibs. Yeah, so when you buy these, it's really good to try to get the nibs that look exactly like the Liquitex markers and that are chiseled, because the other ones really do make a mess, even when you burp them, even when you properly prime them and burp them, they leak, the old nibs. I'm sure that's why they replaced the nibs with the new nibs, but there are the new colors that I just unwrapped. So let me carry on and see what I can manage to create with these. Probably just a mess, but that's fine. I'm totally open for just making a scribbly mess. In case you haven't seen my other 2 videos on these markers, I thought I would try to show you. That is how full the lid is of paint, but this is the rounded nib. Looks like that as compared to the chiseled nib. It's just not chiseled, it's like a U shape. And this is the nib that leaks. Okay, so I took a paintbrush and just smeared all those drips and my swatches with a little bit of gesso on the top of it. And now I'm thinking of taking the grays, the black, and the white and just intuitively making some marks. I don't know if it'll come out as an image or not. I'm having a crazy hard time breathing this week, and especially today. So I'm probably not going to video it or talk much, but I'll show you little peeks as I go along. And it's just more of me demonstrating that when you really don't feel well, there's always some kind of way to create, even if it's to take 5 minutes to put a few marks or to do some swatching. there's almost always a way to create. And I encourage you to look up some of the old pictures of Matisse creating from his bed or his wheelchair. I posted a picture of Matisse in his wheelchair in the Patreon Facebook group this week, I think it was, and just as encouragement that no matter how limited we are because of pain or not feeling well, we can still show up and make marks, even if it's from an art nest that we've created in our bed. So here goes. Let's see what I come up with. So for the first layer, I just took the lightest gray Montana marker and just very loosely made some gestural marks. And then I took the darker shade and went around those marks. I didn't really trace them. I just sort of went around them. And then I took some colors that I just felt drawn to intuitively and just started filling in those shapes with some scribbly gestural marks using different colors. So as I started to build up the layers, I took some of the Graphitint XL blocks that Beatrice gave me for my birthday, and I took the green and the blue, and I did some mark making within the figures that are appearing. And then to make these figures, well, I actually really didn't think about it much. It wasn't like I was doing it for a result, but I felt like I should get the gesso out. And Dawn actually came up at that point, and I was telling him how I felt like I should get the gesso, but I didn't want to think about it too much because I had liked the background color, but I just sort of went with what I was feeling. I took a very wet brush and dipped it in the gesso so it was watered down. And then I started slowly covering areas with the gesso and taking a metal scraper, which I don't know where I put it right now. I don't know what I did with it, but, oh, here. I took this metal scraper, and after I applied the gesso in an area, because it dries so fast, I would go over a little area at a time, and then it sort of smudged out the purple lines. And so I felt like I wanted to redo those sort of gestural lines so they stood out. And now I'm at the point where I was almost thinking it was done, and I stepped back from it, and I started to see these halos around these characters. And I thought, oh my gosh, I need to do halos. And I wish I had actually videoed it when it was happening. But that book, that Gold Saints book, right at the time when I was trying to make the decision, the sun was shining into that window and straight around. Oops.
And hit.
I'm tripping over.
Get that girl a taxi.
Get that girl a taxi. She's drunk. Anyways, it was shining right on that Saints book, and it was glowing like sunset orange gold. So I was like, okay, I have to put halos on these characters. It's like a sign, it's a message. So I'm getting loopy because I really don't feel good. And my poor hubby, he's up here, he doesn't feel good either. So we're just hanging out, making intuitive art. But I'm really glad I got the markers out because I honestly could not have dealt with really cleaning up a bunch of paint on a palette and squeezing out tubes. I wanted to paint. I really preferred to paint when I do intuitive, but I got to say, these are a godsend when you don't feel like you have the energy to paint. So let me see if I stand here and think about it, look at the painting, what the halos might look like and how that, and then I think after that it's going to be done. Okay. Say goodnight, Gracie. Oh, look who has his cast off, or not cast, what do you call it? Dressing. And he has permission to drive. Yay! Yay! He's all healed up. Now he gets to go do the other arm. Anyways, let's get back to the intuitive painting. Okay, so there it is. I'm calling it finished. That's how I interpreted the halos. They're still wet, actually, very loose. I thought about using gold paint, but it didn't feel right. It felt like it should be. And I'm still, I don't know, I think I'm just going to leave it, but I had wondered about putting a purple mark on the outside. But intuitive painting, right? You guys have all heard me teach and talk about the intuitive painting process, and this guy is calling out in the background, I wouldn't do it that color. Don't do that. What did you say? What was it?
Hold on, you're slaying me.
You're slaying me. He's going, you're slaying me. Don't do that. And make it gold. No, don't make it gold. Make him wings. Give him wings. I wouldn't have done it that way. I think we need to teach this man a little bit about courtesy when somebody's doing an intuitive thing.
You were slaying me.
I know, and you were slaying me, Bubba. All right. Oh, man. So there it is with the Montana markers and just intuitive, scribbly, carving it out with some gesso, and it felt good. It felt really good. And now I think we're both totally exhausted and probably going to go downstairs and rest. Yeah. Okay. Love you, Bubba. Okay. Love you guys too. Short video this week, but it was kind of the best I could do with not feeling good and having put so much content on Patreon this week. So I hope you have a good week. God bless you guys. And, I decided the name of it is Angels Among Us. That's why not everybody has a halo, because we are all sort of walking with all our stuff, all our scribbles and confusion inside of us. And we often forget that there are angels among us. There are angels walking beside us. And all we have to do is ask for their help in our hour of need. Okay, guys, God bless. And I will see you in the next video. And hopefully, if I'm feeling better, I have a big surprise for you in the next video. So hopefully I'll see you next week. You want to say bye-bye, Bubba?
Bye-bye, Bubba.
I called you Bubba in the last video, and somebody wrote a comment to Bubba. His name's Don, in case you don't know that yet. But we call him Bubba because we love him.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye-bye, Bubba.